صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. وخير ما نبتدئ به هذه المناسبة الكريمة آي من الذكر الحكيم يقرأه علينا محمد حسين إلهي بعد الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
وآل محمد. أحسنت. We're going to continue with the chairman of the board of the Islamic House of Wisdom, Dr. Firas Hamadi, بعد الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Honorable audience, respected scholars, dignitaries, elected public officials, I welcome you with the warmest words of salutation and greetings. Assalamu alaikum, peace, may peace be with you. I start my speech with quotes from Rumi that I cherish greatly. Yesterday, I was smart. I wanted to change the world. But today, I am wise. I want to change myself. We all need spirituality for our journey, for our quest journey on the meaning of life and the purpose of life. But spirituality cannot achieve its goal without rationality. And this is what we call wisdom. These last words summarize the main mission of the Islamic House of Wisdom. The Islamic House of Wisdom continues to be a beacon for enlightenment, a multicultural bastion, a hub for interfaith dialogue, and a torch for teaching citizenship, good morals and values, and a true humane values. With its remarkable services, remarkable charitable and social and spiritual services, with the clairvoyance and vision lucidity of Imam Ilahi, and a dedicated staff and board of trustees, the Islamic House of Wisdom constitutes not only an asset for our local community, but an asset for the entire human family. Please help me recognizing the talented efforts of our board of trustees and board members. Please stand up. The present board members. So please help me salute them with the salawat and a row of applause. I dearly thank you for your presence this evening, and we are continuously counting on your generosity to keep supporting our services. I wish for you a pleasant and a blessed evening. Wassalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you, Dr. Faras. We're going to continue with Sister Mashhadiya with a word of welcome. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Sister Mashhadiya, board member.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So basically, my job is to recognize all the elected officials who are present or will be present soon within a few minutes. First, I'd like to recognize from the Wayne County Executive Office, Mr. Khalil Rahal. He's the Chief Administrative Office at the Wayne County. Wayne County Commissioner, Mr. Sam Beydoun. Latanya Gator, School Board Trustee and Commissioner. And Honorable Judges, Judge Hilal Farhat and Judge Sam Salame. Now moving to City of Dearborn Heights government officials. Don't get offended, my Dearborn folks, because we're in their district. So we gotta start with them first. So Mayor Bill Bazzi and Chief of Staff, Ms. Mariana. Dearborn Heights Council Chair, Mr. Dave Abdullah. Dearborn Heights Councilman, Mr. Hassan Ahmed. Dearborn Heights Councilman, Mo Beydoun. And we have the Dearborn Heights Fire Chief and his team, Mr. David Brogan. State Senator Ms. Sylvia Santana, State Representative Ms. Tanisha Wamsi, former State Rep and candidate for Congress Ms. Sherry Gate Dagnogo. Again, like I mentioned, some of them are present and others will be coming in soon. We have from City of Dearborn officials, Dearborn Councilwoman Erin Burns, Dearborn Councilman Mr. Kamal Sawafi, Dearborn Councilwoman Leslie Herrick, Dearborn Charter Commission member Elizabeth Bailey, and from City of Hamtramck, Councilwoman Amanda Jakowski, I got it right. And from City of Inkster, Saif El-Senat from the Mayor Executive Office. And we have our law enforcement members from the FBI Community Outreach, Ms. Mary Abeljoud, and Special Agent in Charge, Mr. James Torrasca. Did I say it right? Thank you. Thank you for all the members who came in today to support us and have a great iftar. We appreciate you, and we will get back with you soon to speak more about the services that the Islamic House of Wisdom provide. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to continue with founder and chairman Dr. Ajur, Dr. Muhammad Ajur. بعد الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
Assalamu alaikum. Being a cardiologist, usually I talk about the heart, but I was assigned a different subject, so I'm going to talk to you from the heart. I was asked to go over the House of Wisdom activities and history. I am one of the founders of the House of Wisdom 27 years ago, and I am the first chairman, so I know a little bit about the House of Wisdom. This place, which have moved from having their meeting in a library and basement to having a beautiful center to serve the community. Their mission has been education, faith, love, justice, and really serving the community. And in order to comply with this, they have really worked very hard to form different committees and have different activities. Briefly, I will read some of their activity that is run through the whole year. They have the Islamic and Arabic school. They have the youth leadership activities. They have an excellent program for the Girl Scout. They have an educational seminar which cover faith and health and lots of other business activity. They have a workshop and seminar for the House of Wisdom Marriage Foundation. It has helped to keep people away from bars and other things, and hopefully they meet each other under supervision. They have a humanitarian assistance program, and they really recently have been involved with the refugee from Afghanistan. I know a lot of people have done a lot of work, but they try to find their housing and their job. They are involved in mental health. They are involved in drug overdose, which has been really a big problem for our community, and we're still going through that. In order to really run all these activities, you have to have funds. You have to have people and working through all of this. That's why we have this fundraising, so hopefully everybody participate to the best of their ability. There are two things that I want to mention about the financial issues with the House of Wisdom. Number one, they really only depend on this fundraising for their survival. They do not have any grant. They don't have any national or international aid. The fundraising dinner and your support from the community is the only way to finance their activities. The second thing I want to mention, they are extremely transparent. You can see what's going on and what's going out. Next week, you probably will see a list of all the donors of this that's listed inside the House of Wisdom, where you can add them up and check how much they are. They are very transparent, and every penny that you contribute is counted for. Regarding the people who work, they are very extremely dedicated people at the House of Wisdom. They work extremely hard with the leadership of Imam Ilahi, who does a wonderful job. He's an extremely hard-working person. A lot of time we look at the outcome of the results. We don't look at what it takes to get there. But it's really important, and people that have business, it's really important for them to recognize how much an effort it takes to build such an institution. It reminds me of a short story that I want to mention. I lived in the South, and I graduated from Texas A&M University, and they have a short story they always repeated for the student and faculty and other people. A mayor of a county, he went to the chief of an Indian tribe and asked him, "I'm amazed." Why? He said, "I'm amazed that every time we have a drought, you have guys, you have your rain dance, and it rains. What's your secret?" He said, "Really, there is no secret. Every time we have a drought, we start dancing, and we don't stop till it starts raining." So hard work, dedication is really what needed. I keep reminding my students and my fellows about that. When you want to build a center, when you want to build an institution, you're always trying to find where you want to spend the money, which room has to be bigger. When you're building a religious institution, you think you want to spend your money in the praying room because that's why most people want to be. Or you want to spend your money in the education room, in the auditorium, because that's where education happens and you can help people understand and learn. Or maybe you want to spend it in the dining room. Look, we are here because we don't have a big dining room. Actually, if you really want to spend your money properly, it should be the room for improvement. That's what it takes every organization to make them better. And if you don't improve, you certainly will regress and you may fade away. I'm not going to take too much time, but there are 3 issues that are dear to my heart. I like to really see and mention it, see if we can make some improvement. The first issue is the interfaith. It is really essential that we all work on it. And Imam Ilahi is a leader in the interfaith, locally, nationally, and internationally. But I always think there's still room for improvement. And it should not be only the role of the imams. It should be the role of each one of us. I'm in the hospital. I have to teach about Islam and what we stand for. Recently, we had a guy came from Minnesota to attack the Islamic Center in this area. The first question I asked myself, what could I have done to prevent that? Could we have educated them? And I think ignorance is a big part of this issue. And by working that, we can fight Islamophobia. The other issue I want to talk about is the interfaith. We really spend lots of money and a lot of activities overlapping each other. can we really get together and work as a group, supporting each other, changing imams to pray on a Friday. So let the people know that we are a one unity. We do not have to invite people from overseas. We have enough talent here. The third issue that I like to mention is the issue of the youth. We're really having a problem. We have not been able to attract them to our center or to other centers. And we always ask the question, why? We really should dig deeper and find out what we can do, how we can engage them, how we can educate them, because they are the future of our centers. Recently, we suggested that we should have a tent at the fair lane, like other restaurants have. Let's invite them, let's talk to them, and let them be part of our organization. Again, I want to thank you very much for being with us. I want to thank you for support. God bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Can I continue with the spiritual leader of Islamic House of Wisdom, Imam Ilahi Ba'da Salati ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you all. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. توكلت على الحي الذي لا يموت وتحسنت بذي العزة والجمال والجبروت واستعنت بذي القوة والكبرياء والملكوت ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين. It is always a great pleasure to meet, greet, and welcome valuable leaders of our community, members of our community, and especially in such a great night. We are so proud of progress in our cities, both Dearborn and Dearborn Heights. Our mayors, Mayor Bazzi, Mayor Hamoud, our councils, city councils, the police departments, firefighters, and local justice system, of their outreach, their actions to entire community, regardless of religious or racial backgrounds. What makes this meeting more moving, tremendous, and treasured is the timing. Yesterday, Passover, that is celebration of Jewish community, the freedom of Jews from Pharaoh and injustice of the time. And tomorrow is Easter. Easter is festival of life. And tonight, middle of Ramadan, شهر أوله رحمة وأوسطه مغفرة وآخره عتق من النار. So yesterday was about liberation. And tomorrow is about life. And tonight, al-maghfirah, forgiveness and love. So we are celebrating this season of liberty, life, and love. Another reason that tonight is important, the birthday of Sibtun Nabi, the grandson of our Prophet, Sayyid Shabab Ahl al-Jannah, a paradigm of paradise. Rayhanatu Rasulullah, a flower from Garden of God. Allahumma inni uhibbuhu fa'ahibbah wa ahbib man yuhibbuh. The Prophet said, "Oh God, I love this blessing baby, and please love his lovers." 160 years ago, President Abraham Lincoln said, "The best way to destroy your enemy without fighting is to turn him to your friend." 1200 years before this statement, the man who was born tonight practiced this. In Medina, he saw a man just coming from Sham under the poisonous propaganda of politics in Sham. He had a heart full of hate for the Prophet and his family. As he identified Al-Imam al-Mujtaba, he started beating the Imam with bad words, very ugly, very angry, and very insulting. The Imam patiently listening, and then he said, "Sir, it looks like you are new in this area. Please let me know if there is anything I can do to help you. If you need food, if you need clothes, if you need money, if you need transportation, if you need information for your trip, anything, please let me know." Then Imam invited this guy to his house, showing his hospitality amazing reception. The guy whose heart was full of hatred to the household of the Prophet started crying, saying, كنت وأبوك أبغض خلق الله إلي والآن أنتم أحب خلق الله إلي والله أعلم حيث يجعل رسالته. When I arrived in this area, you were the most hated family in my heart. But now you are the most beloved people in my heart. Now I understand the wisdom of God. He knows whom to choose as a leader and provide this responsibility. So tonight it is important because of this beautiful and blessing birthday. And also the timing of this gathering, Ayyamul Bid, as Samatul Ulama, they already started talking about Ayyamul Bid in the masajid these nights. We are in the heart of Ramadan and the heart of Ayyamul Bid. Preparation for Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, revelation of the Quran, reflection and resolution for the coming year. كتاب أنزلناه إليك لتخرج الناس من الظلمات إلى النور. A mighty message with the purpose of ending darkness and bringing enlightenment and awareness and understanding to this world. So yes, middle of Ramadan, nights of power, welcoming revelation of this heavenly message. Not only the Quran was a light from heaven, based on the Quran itself, the Torah, the Injil, the Old Testament, the New Testament, they, in original revelation, they were light. The Quran says, "Inna anzalna at-Tawrata fiha hudan wa nur." In the Torah, there is guidance and light. Also, the Quran says, وَآتَيْنَاهُ الْإِنْجِيلَ فِيهِ هُدًى وَنُورٌ. Also, the Bible was a revelation of guidance and light. Brothers and sisters, the Quran is an interfaith book, and we honor and appreciate and sincerely grateful for the presence of Interfaith this evening here. And I know it's a very sensitive time. Tomorrow they have service. Many churches, they have service tonight. So their presence means a lot to us. So the Quran is an interfaith book. 69 times the story of Abraham. 136 times the story and name of Moses. 70 times Jesus, Messiah, and his mom, Mary, mentioned in the Quran. So we have this light because we live in the dhulma in this world. I know the 20th century, we have this scientific civilization, tools and technology, unbelievable global communication and transportation. We know that. But none of this can be a substitute for what was signed almost 67 years ago by President Eisenhower. He signed that motto of "In God we trust." So this science and technology not substitute for faith and spirituality. The amazing, miraculous medical movement in our world that is winning even the disease of corona, dealing with human flesh miraculously. It can cure corona, but science and medicine unable to cure the corona in human character. And that is the problem. The virus of greed and gossip and hate, hypocrisy, ignorance and injustice. These are the diseases cannot be cured just by science. This is why the Quran says, لِتُخْرِجَ النَّاسَ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. ظلمات، ظلمة الجهل وظلمة الجور والكراهية والعنصرية والإرهاب والاعتداء والاحتلال والاعتياد والانتحار. ظلمات في الأفكار، ظلمات في المشاعر، ظلمات في المجتمعات. In this deep darkness of the world, we need Laylatul Qadr, and we need this mighty message from heaven to reflect light on this planet and to cure this zulumat. You just saw the zulumat of this guy moving from Minnesota, coming directly to Detroit to destroy the mosque, to blow up the mosque in the month of Ramadan. FBI is dealing with this guy and saying that he's a very heavy guy, 240 pounds. That is his body, but his brain is not that heavy. Zero brain. What kind of decision? This is zulumat. The zulumat of Brooklyn, brutality in New York. A guy blindly shooting everybody on the subway. This is dhulma, this is darkness. What we saw yesterday in the Holy Mosque in Jerusalem, that is dhulma. Washington Post reported 152 people were injured and hundreds of them, the worshippers, were arrested. Over 70 years, these experiences repeated, but there's still some people, they expect different result. I'm glad that we have Interfaith community. Where is Brenda? Involved in Interfaith. Hope somehow, sometime, those guys, those politicians, everywhere, whether it is in Ukraine and this aggression of terrorizing 44 million people, no justification. I know sometime in 2014, even Henry Kissinger was saying that in Crimea crisis at that time, he was saying that looks like Russia is right. But no matter you blame the United States or blame NATO or whatever, there is zero justification to attack Ukraine and terrorize 44 million people. No reason. That is stupidity, that is aggression, that is war, that is ugly. So now, those guys in Jerusalem, they go and instead of talking with those worshippers inside the mosque, they go and they talk to Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates, and those guys, they don't have any problem for you. You want to talk with them? The Palestinian issue is not their issue. How you want to solve Palestinian issue with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? They are their own palaces, pleasure, petty pleasure, and they don't care. They don't have problem with you. You don't have problem with them. You have problem with those people who are worshiping inside the mosque. Go and talk with them. Be part of the solution. Not to make that as a business for politics. That makes it miserable for everybody. That is not the solution. The same thing in Yemen. Same thing in Afghanistan. People are dying in millions out of starvation. And now Taliban cares about the beard of the people. Now you went there to solve the problem and bring them food, or you think that the problem is beard if they have beard, and if they have turban, then the problem is over? So these are, brothers and sisters, the dhulumat that I'm talking about. And the Quran came لِتُخْرِجَ النَّاسَ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. That was the mission of Torah. That was the mission of the Bible. That is the mission of heaven, to end this dhulumat. And for this reason, the Quran talks about the philosophy of fasting in one word: لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. The fasting is not for us to just lose our weight. If you want to lose your weight, we have Dr. Michael Mosley in Britain. He's been talking about this issue for the last 20 years. And as a matter of fact, he provided 5-2 diet. That says eat for 5 days and fast for 2 days. And you can go with that philosophy. Sumu tasihhu. The philosophy of fasting is not just physical. That is a result of fasting. But the reason and philosophy of fasting is لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. To choose the road of righteousness. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُوقِنُونَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. To achieve salvation. That is the philosophy. At-taqwa means to build character. The month of Ramadan is the month of construction of character. How? How to make taqwa? The victory of virtue over vice, intellect over inclination, willpower over weakness, courage over cowardly, mercy over malice, benevolence overcoming brutality, commitment over carelessness, empathy over animosity, sacrifice over selfishness, self-discipline over self-deception. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. And for that reason, tonight, we have a model, Al-Imam al-Mujtaba, the grandson of the Holy Prophet. And we have the message of heaven. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. The model is Jesus, Moses, Abraham, Muhammad, and tonight Al-Hasan al-Mujtaba. And the message is the Torah, the Bible, the Quran. These are the roadmap. One of the ways, brothers and sisters, to build character based on the Quran, the character of taqwa, is charity. The Quran says, مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ وَتَثْبِيتًا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ. Look at تَثْبِيتًا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ means when we do the infaq, charity, we stabilize our personality. تثبيتا لأنفسهم, a stabilization of character. This is why hundreds and hundreds of times The word infaq, sadaqat, mabarrat, zakat, charity, generosity, mentioned the Quran. وَأَنفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ أَحَدَكُمْ الْمَوْتُ. Before you are not able to do it, able to pay, able to show your generosity, show it before you can't. You know, the corona in distance of 2 years killed over 6 million people on this planet. Over 1.1 million people in the United States died because of corona in the last 2 years. But corona is not only the killer. We know that we all one day have to go, including myself. I don't know when is that. I wish my wife is not hearing me, because maybe she can fix the time, right? The women, they have a way if they want to cause a heart attack or something. But I don't know it generally, but she has a way to discover, and especially we are closing to the nights of power, right? Because our destination is determined and decide the night of power. I hope we are good with our wives and family in the next few nights, because these are very, very determining nights. وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَلَأَنفُسِكُمْ. When you do it for yourself. مَنْ جَاءَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ فَلَهُ عَشْرَ أَمْثَالِهَا. إِنْ أَحْسَنْتُمْ أَحْسَنْتُمْ لَأَنفُسِكُمْ. When you promote education, when you bring health, when you bring prosperity in your neighborhood, that is good for you. You enjoy it before anybody else. What if in your neighborhood people who are poor and they have no education and they are not healthy? That is not a happy neighborhood. So when we do the charity, أحسنتم أحسنتم لأنفسكم. So please, brothers and sisters, make your mind tonight to be generous, as always you are. But when we talk about generosity, we are not talking about too generous giving by hand, generous handing. More important generosity in hand is generosity in heart. Generosity in mind, generosity in soul. That we are open-minded, we have vision. We have a loving heart. That is a generous and charitable heart. So generosity with our time, and generosity with our talent, and generosity with our treasure. This is what the Quran says. And especially in the middle of Ramadan, the heart of Ramadan, the heart of love and mercy. أوله رحمة أوسطه مغفرة وآخره عتق من النار. You are in the stage of forgiveness before getting to the stage of freedom. If we want to be free, we must be forgiving. Forgiveness provides freedom. When you forgive, you free yourself first. Rumi is saying, از محبت نار نوری می شود، از محبت دیو حوری می شود. If you love, through your love, you can change copper to gold. You can turn pain to pleasure. You can turn grief to relief. Turn fire to light. And make slave out of king. And life out of dead. This is what love does in our world. So let us pray, brothers and sisters, in such a beautiful night and beautiful gathering for victims of corona, victims of violence, war, and terrorism, praying for peace in Ukraine, in Palestine, in Yemen, in Syria, everywhere in Africa, Asia. Share our minds, our prayers, and our hearts with suffering people, no matter where they are. Today I was really impressed when I saw a doctor in Los Angeles. He was crying, talking about climate change, that the victims of climate change in this world are much more than victims of corona and war and any other tragedy. And he was saying, I'm not lying, I'm not exaggerating. Take this matter seriously. And finally, I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, for your support, for your presence of helping a house whose mission is faith, education, outreach, action, and standing for peace, justice, and truth. This is the mission of Islamic House of Wisdom. We have a few minutes before Iftar, and I know the hadith says, للصائم فرحتان فرحة عند إفطاره وفرحة عند لقاء ربه, that after 15 hours of staying away from food and drink and smoking and everything, now time to break the iftar. This is a time of happiness. So I hope you are happy. But the greater and higher happiness is our happiness in heaven when we meet with our Lord. So I hope that tonight we are happy, and inshallah we all together meet our Lord in heaven. We are happier even at that time. I want to thank you for your patience, for your being very patient, very polite and patient listening. God bless you and God bless your family. We are not going to mention the names for donation. There are envelopes in front of you. And if anyone from his heart, from her heart, whatever you would like to contribute to your House of Wisdom, you are welcome. So, Ustad Matt, do you have something to say, brother? So, I want to again appreciate and thank you so much. God bless you and God your family as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Imam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. No. We can do way better than that. In honor of the birth of our second Imam, Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Respected scholars, public officials, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'd like to congratulate all of you on the auspicious birth of our second Imam, Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam. When one individual approached this great character and asked them, "Oh Imam, how do you define stinginess?" Imam turned around and said that stinginess is defined by the man who considers giving charity as a loss. And it was this mentality, it was this ideology that he proceeded to give away the entirety of his wealth on two separate occasions of his life. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that if you can change the thinking of one individual, if you can educate one person, that is more beneficial than the rays of the sun in which everybody benefits from. And he goes on to say that the life, wealth, reputation, and education of the human being is more sacred than the holy Kaaba. We have an obligation to support the youth communities and the youth groups throughout our community. The Youth of Wisdom at IHW on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis, putting out events, discussions, workshops, activities, celebrations, commemorations, the Saturday Brothers program, the workshops that teach youth how to recite the Holy Quran, but more importantly, how to interpret it, to teach the essence of prayer, not just the mannerisms of it. And you know what's interesting? The individuals who are running these programs are the same youth who used to participate in them throughout the years. Meaning every dollar that you give to contribute helps progress generation worth of youth. Our deen this religion of Islam says something so beautiful. It says that giving is better than receiving. And somebody may ask themselves, how is that so? How is it that giving is better than receiving? And the answer is because giving jumpstarts the receiving process. How many times have you noticed you invest your efforts, you invest your times, you invest your money, and on that same day, you come home at night and you receive more than you have given? And we think to ourselves, is this some kind of coincidence? Is this some kind of miracle? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, for every dollar that you give, I give you tenfold. Every dollar that you give that allows for a youth to come and recite a page of the Quran, every individual that comes and prays in this masjid, that puts their head down in sujood, you are the one that benefits from that. And I'll conclude with this. Nabi Musa and Khidr alayhi salam, we've all heard the story, where the two of them, after a long day's journey, they approach a town being starved. And they go into the city and they're looking for people to feed them, to show them some kind of hospitality. And after going door to door, individual and individual, family by family, everybody closed the door on Nabi Musa and Khidr alayhi salam. And as they're leaving the town, Khidr looks at a wall that is beginning to break and he repairs it. And Nabi Musa thinks to himself, how is it that Khidr is rebuilding this wall that was on the verge of destruction after the people weren't hospitable to us? And so Nabi Musa asked Khidr, he says, why is it that you did this? These people closed their doors, they shafted us, they turned their backs towards us. How is it that you did such a thing? And Khidr turns around and he says, underneath this wall was treasures that belonged to two young orphans. And if that wall were to break, they would have came and confiscated it from them. The reason I rebuilt that wall is because the father of these two young orphans was a good man. Meaning that you may not see your reward for giving today, tomorrow, next year, 10 years from today. You may see it in your offspring, in your children, in your grandchildren, and in your great-grandchildren. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your prayers, accept your fast, and accept your contributions. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Very good job, very good job. You know, next time I'm going to give my time to my son. Looks like he's doing a much better job than his dad. So you can have my time next. Let us just do this short dua, dua al-iftar. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma laka sumna وعلى رزقك أفطرنا وعليك توكلنا فتقبل منا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Enjoy your iftar. Wassalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Sheikh. Just want to remind you that on the table there are some envelopes. If you like to help Islamic House of Wisdom, we really appreciate it. Just going to mention a few names and thank you for being with us. Sada al-Ulama, thank you for being with us. Samahat Sayyid